Vice President DiGirolamo. Would you mind reading the Open Public Meeting Act statement?
This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of July 17, 2018 was included in the list of meeting notices sent to newspapers of record and posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and has remained continuously posted as the required notices under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk.
Stand for the invocations.
Dear God, guide us as we conduct matters of business today. Guide our community to seek the many services provided to our residents. Help them beat the heat, and please check on your neighbors, especially the elderly. Amen.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody.
It's always there. Excellent. Yes. Roll call vote.
Council President Phillipsburg.
Here.
Council Vice President DiGirolamo.
Here.
Councilman Davis.
Here.
Councilman Lutz. Councilman McVeigh.
Here. Okay, first on the agenda, we have a discussion with Aqua Water, and I believe their representatives are here. Gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind stepping up to the podium and providing us with your name and position with Aqua, please.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joseph Mingle, Director of Operations, Aqua New Jersey Water.
I'm Larry Goldsmith, the area supervisor for the local area.
So, gentlemen, thank you for coming. You're aware of why you're here today?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So can you help us understand the groundwater issue?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. As you know, there's been a lot of complaints about this cold water system. We have checked our water supply. We have checked our reservoir, our plants, and everything is pristine. There's nothing to change coming out of our water treatment plants. However, there has been an unusual amount of unauthorized water use coming out of our fire hydrants. Specifically, contractors, pool service companies, and what happens is when these events occur, they open up hydrants that we don't know where they're opening. They come full blast, and they stir up their naturally occurring sediments in the water main, and we get temporary discolored water. This is a very difficult thing to police. We have people driving around now trying to find. We sent out letters to all the businesses in the area, or all the local contractors. We've also sent out letters to the town officials asking for help, and also the fire department. So if anybody needs water, they can fill up a truck for a paving contractor or for a full service, they can come down to our office. We'll be glad. If we take it out of the hydrant, out of our office by our plant, we won't be disturbing the water mains. In addition, we are going to ramp up our flushing to twice a year. Traditionally, we've only done it annually. Now we're going to do it twice a year, and we're going to do a more aggressive scaling approach. We're going to work with the city engineer, Stanley, and we're going to keep him informed. And I ask and I urge the residents to please, if they have a problem, please call our call center. It's very important that we understand and know where these complaints are coming from, so we can immediately go out there and address the situation. And I'll give you our call center number. I think it's on our website, call center. But our call center number is 1-877-987-2782. Lastly, I just want to point out that our water is safe to drink. These are naturally occurring sediment deposits in the mains that cause discolored water. When this happens, and a resident notices this, I advise them to open the cold water spigots only, not the hot water. Flush out your lines for about 10 minutes or so.
Use only one spigot to flush. And don't get it into every spigot in the house. If you flush just one, it won't pull the discolored water throughout the house.
And I'm here with you. I'm very concerned as well as everybody is. All the and I'm trying to address this as quickly as possible, but also as smart as possible. I want to get this problem solved quickly, and so we can provide pristine water for the city of Phillipsburg.
Councilman Lutz, do you have anything?
No, thank you.
Council Vice President?
Has this been a recent problem with them being open?
Yes. It started, actually, there was a fire event in January that caused it, and then it died down, and then in April, down by the lumberyard, there was an instance where an insurance company opened up 4 or 5 hydrants, all at full rate, which really started the problem initially.
It caused 80 calls to our call center at that time when they opened up 5 hydrants all at one time, just to see if they worked. I guess it was a property for sale or something, we weren't interested. We just happened to find out by chance, but we were going to notify them, the lumberyard, that we were going to flush their area because it was locked up area at night. And when we went down there, they said, oh, well, you don't have to worry about us, because we already flushed our hydrants. So we investigated it further and found out that, that's indeed what happened.
It's
So-
my,
Go ahead.
it's my understanding there's also been a long-standing agreement that one of the hydrants is being opened down by the sewer to service the train.
Okay.
Are you,
Yeah, we just found out about that.
okay,
and,
I was told it's been in place
we
for
don't-
10 years, so.
We don't know, but it has been, you're right, it has been addressed. I talked to
It's
the
been
fire
resolved.
chief. Talked to the fire chief, it's been disconnected, and from what I understand,
It's disconnected?
his line is disconnected from there. From what I understand, I haven't seen it yet, but someone told me that he has gone to a nearby home and is using water there.
Okay,
But that's needed, and that's fine.
okay, thank you.
I do have some cards here, if anybody's interested, I'll leave them up here to the best, and it has our call center number on it.
Please do.
If anybody has an issue they want to call, please call.
So, Councilman.
We can't address any problems that we don't know about.
Councilman Davis, do you have any questions?
I don't. Thank you, Council President.
Councilman McVeigh?
Gentlemen, thank you for coming this evening. I know this is a very big concern in our town. Do you consider our hydrants standard here? Are they modernized? Are they where they're supposed to be? Are there other hydrants that should have maybe locking mechanisms where emergency personnel should only, or your personnel should be able to attain them? Or can I go out to any hardware store and pick up a tool to open up a hydrant and cause such problems in the future?
Well, that's a very good question. We talked about putting locks on the hydrant, but there's liability involved with that, especially if you have a fire. As far as our hydrants, yeah, they are standard fire hydrants. They are up to date. Any pipe wrench or a hydrant wrench can access the hydrant. We don't want to turn the hydrants off because they're supposed to be used for firefighting purposes, and we want to keep them on, specifically for the fire event that happened in January, which
We are looking at identifying, putting like a ringer on them, like other communities do that.
Right.
To alert people to know, let them know that you cannot be operating these hydrants with your permission, which is important. That people need to know.
Thank you for your response. That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you. Council Vice President, you have another question?
I'm sorry, it just reminded me of something else. When you have these service, you mentioned it's going to be twice a year. Do you notify the
yes, we do.
immediate area?
Yes, we do. We
'Cause
have it.
I know I was shocked to be woken up at 11:30 at night when one started going off across the street from my house.
We have what you call robocall that is out.
Oh.
That notifies.
So to those of us that don't have home phone numbers that need younger,
We call the number that's listed on your account. If you don't update your account, then you can't have
Good question. We also have it posted on our website.
Yes, we do.
So please check our website constantly. I'm going to address this as well as everybody else. I'm very concerned. I want to get this fixed.
What I'll do the next time when we start our fall flushing, I'll notify Vicki. That way, you'll know when we start, when we end.
they can put
And then that way you guys can even post on your webpage.
No, that's okay, Council Vice President. So I've just a few questions. How often do you test the water?
We test it daily, every plants.
Okay, so you do
Yeah.
test it daily, you tested it today. So your next test then will be tomorrow, yes?
Yes, with the routine tests, correct.
Is it possible to have 2 weeks' worth of testing sent to me?
Sure, absolutely.
Excellent. Okay.
Absolutely.
Is there an email address that I can reach you at?
Sure. Do you want me to?
Unless you have a card.
I'll
Do you have a
give
card? I'll take your card.
Yes, our compliance manager, she left some cards here. She's the one that handles this, sir.
Thank you. You have to call me, sir. You can call me Bobby. That's right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I got a couple. Well,
I believe I've spoken with her. Gentlemen, you understand why you're here this evening, right? I mean, obviously, it's a huge concern for our residents.
Yes.
We certainly don't want to be the next Flint, Michigan.
no, you're not.
Okay, excellent. That makes me feel good. If it's okay with the panel, I'd like to open it up to the floor. I'd like, with a show of hands, how many people are here tonight for Aqua? Okay, so then I would like to open it up to the floor if they have any questions for you. So I'd like a motion to open it up to the floor.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGrom?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Fulmer?
Yes. All right,
The
gentlemen.
mayor's been waiting patiently. He had something he wanted to add.
Yeah, if you didn't mind, Council President, real quick.
No, I don't mind, Mr. Dickey, but you can't yell from the back of the room, okay?
Council President, it was an excellent idea to get the test results because clean water, of course, is a very important issue. I would also ask Aqua, if possible, if they would advertise those in the express times to put the people at rest.
Okay, I'll check into that. We have it on our website on consumer confidence reports, but I will look into it, Mr. Mayor.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. So the first person, I believe, ma'am, you, yes, the blonde right there. Raise your hand. I apologize. Can you state your name and address for the record? I'm sorry.
Linda Del Monte, 155 Prospect Avenue. Mike, I appreciate everything that you're doing, but I just have a couple of questions. The first thing is I understand about the unauthorized use of fire hydrants could be causing a problem. But is that happening every single day? Because every single day the water's brown. So
Okay.
that's a concern.
I don't know the answer to that question. Okay, but I mean, could it be? Yes. It doesn't even have to be in your area. It could be like a few blocks away, pulling water past your area at higher rates. However, I'd ask that you call our call center so we can send somebody out to your residence to look at your water and see if there's anything.
I did do that, and they were
Okay.
very nice, called back the next day, and miraculously, that one day, the water wasn't brown.
Okay.
After that, it's now brown again, so
Okay.
I'm gonna call again.
Okay. Okay.
Please call again.
Yeah.
We'll send somebody out the same day and have a look at it. and
Just the
see.
second part of the questioning regarding the testing of the water, where is that test performed? Is it the plant, or?
Yes, it's coming out of our plant.
But if that's not what's brown,
No, what's brown is what we've been finding is the naturally occurring sediment deposits. See if the water sits in the water main for an extended period of time, it just settle, naturally occurring mineral deposits and settle. And then when you blow a lot of water through it, it stirs it up, it turns it brown.
I'm just concerned because I feel like we're testing the water that where it's not the issue.
We can gladly test for a full battery test.
Thank you.
Mr. Minor.
I'm Joe Miner, 392 South Main Street in Phillipsburg. The brown water, are you sure there's no heavy metals in it? It's all iron oxide?
We do not,
We don't iron, the iron content in the water that we send out is very, very low. Very low.
But it's, okay, by the time it gets, when I have brown water, and I've already, say, boiled some spaghetti or had a glass of it, I don't worry because you're checking for heavy metals, but I just found out where you're checking. Do you check for heavy metals down the lines where things might have happened?
If we get a call to go out to someone's house, or we see, get a call that there's some discolored water, we'll collect the sample at the site and analyze it.
20 or so years ago, you published a test that had a footnote, and in the footnote, it had a footnote. Apparently, you had too much lead at one test at one time. subject. I don't know how you monitor for that.
For that.
I'm
We don't,
struggling the water.
we don't know of any lead out there that's, we're in a very aggressive program to replace all the service lines. And since I've been here since 2012, I haven't come across one lead service on our side since I've been here.
We did, our last lead and copper study was done in 2015. We're required to do it every 3 years.
Okay, this was probably 1990 something.
Okay, and the results that we have, no detect for lead, and everything was below 90%.
But I don't have to worry about the ground. That's just a.
Aesthetically, it looks
But
like
it's still a concern. Right.
Sir?
My name is John Betts. I do not reside in your community. However, I live over at Breaking Gardens over in Opadcom.
Okay.
I would like to know where your underground sources of water emanate from. Where are they? It's a question.
we have 3 wells that are right alongside the river, behind Baker Chemical area. No discuss.
Is there any leaching from Baker Chemical? Is there any downstream on the Delaware River, since both from Delaware around the Delaware? Anything coming from the fracking at the riverheads?
The wells are not under the influence of the river.
Okay. Do you draw any water from the river?
No.
Has somebody done a study on that?
Yes.
Where your
There has been
sources
studies on it.
are they accessible by the public?
Sure, well, the DEP has it on file, right? New Jersey
Okay.
Department of Environmental Protection, but if you call our office, I'm sure somebody can get you.
Okay, thank you, sirs.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Sir?
Dan Boyce, 244 Irwin. My concern is, I live on Irwin Street, and the brown water's been going on for quite a while, including the winter. If they opened up the hydrants, it would have frozen the roads. So I'm not buying that story. I know, I have a couple neighbors that heard water running and called Aqua numerous times, and Aqua says they can't find anything, but we've had 4 sinkholes on Irwin Street.
Okay, that's a good point, sir. And I wanted to bring that up, and I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. We have hired an outside consultant who's been aggressively performing leak detection studies in the area, and we're slowly getting around, not slowly, quickly getting around to all the areas in the city. And I'm hoping that we'll find something. If we don't, it's going to come back to the unauthorized water.
I will contact my,
And what street is it on?
Irwin. If there's a leak, could that cause the brown water? If there's a leak, could that be what's causing the water?
It could. But our leak detection program's been going on 2+ years, and in your area, as well as all the, what we call the low pressure zone, which is downtown, up there Roseberry, and back toward the river. We've really tightened up the system a lot since we started the program, fixing all the leaks we find. We're not, whenever we hear noise or he hears noise, he reports it to us, we go out and fix it in a day. Whenever it's as quick as we can. Now, I haven't heard of any leaks over on Irwin Street, but I will send somebody by.
There was just 2 sinkholes.
The sinkholes can be caused by numerous things.
I understand that, but like I said, since I bought my home, I know at least 3 neighbors that have called saying they hear water running. It's not in their home, it's not in their basements, it's not in any of the neighbors' basements. And Aqua says they can't find anything, but they can hear, maybe it's a ghost, I don't know.
Well, I will definitely look into it and find out. But if there's water, if you or your neighbors are hearing water, and we're not hearing it on our side, we can turn the water off to the residents, and if we don't hear water, we know it's not on our side, it's going to be on the customer's side. So then it would be up to the customer to make the repair. We will notify them if we find it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am?
Melissa Paulus, 26A Glen Avenue. As far as the unauthorized use of hydrants, taking the days where there have been hydrant usage because of fires, what is your unaccounted water percentages? Has there been a change in that that would indicate that it's due to the hydrants being open?
Well, the unaccounted for water is been improving because of the blockers that we have and us finding leaks out there that are unforeseen to us. So we go out and fix all these. So the unaccounted for water has improved probably 4 or 5% in the last 2 years, which is significant.
But what about since there's been this issue with the dirty water? So in that time period, what has your percentage of unaccounted water been?
It's pretty much been the same. Yeah, it's been about the same. We haven't seen any change in it.
So how can you then say that it's due to unauthorized hydrant usage?
Well,
If your flows aren't increasing that much, whereas that's considered unaccounted water,
Ma'am,
I don't,
Okay, if I could interject real quick. When we get unauthorized water use, or they open up a hydrant quickly and fill a tanker truck, it's a minimal amount of water used or taken compared to the overall pumpage. So it's so minute of an amount. While it pulls water and rushes water through the main, there's not that much water being taken. And it adds, it's very little percentage-wise based to affect the overall account.
What Joe's trying to say is we pump 4 million gallons of water a day. If somebody comes by and takes 1,000, 2,000 gallons of water, or 6,000 gallons of water, but they take it in the wrong way.
I understand the change of pressure in a main.
What's that?
I understand that the change in the pressure of a main is going to cause that stir-up. But like I said, you know, my concern is what is your percentage of unaccounted water? Is it within the parameters that DEP has set?
Larry,
Well, like I said, it's been improving. No, it's not within what DEP recommends. I would say DEP, maybe BPU. They like to see the unaccounted for around 15%,
And what is yours?
around 30. But I don't think that has any bearing to what the question you're asking.
Never know.
good point.
I think that should be a major concern.
And like I said, it's been improving over the last 2 years, almost 5%.
Okay. Ma'am?
Nicole Zimmerman, 112 North Riverview Road. I just have one small concern. A lot of the residents in the town are renters, and a lot of the landlords carry water, sewer, garbage included in the rent. So when you're putting a blast out there, only the homeowners are getting an alert. The renters aren't getting an alert. Is there any way that a renter not being on an account can sign up at the water company to get the alert that the water's been turned off because there's a break somewhere, or there's leakage somewhere, or that you're flushing the lines and all of our water's going to be ground before we have a problem, or we ruin our laundry or something like that?
That's a good point. We can certainly work with the city in some advertisement fashion to get that out. That's okay.
So possibly put a notice in the paper or something.
Where it's going.
And one more thing. So you're only responsible for the water getting to, like, say, my curb. It's my responsibility to maintain the pipes and everything in the water service from your entry at my curb into my house, correct?
Right.
So again, as a renter, if there's a problem in this, from the source of where you guys are giving it to us, coming into the residence, how are any of us supposed to know that?
Well, I guess your landlord.
Landlord-tenant rights,
Right.
it's their responsibility to tell the tenants.
If we were to find, just say my leak detector came out, he came to your house and he noticed on your service line, and we found out it was on your line, we would notify the tenant, not the landlord, only because they live there. So we would give them a notice if they weren't home.
But are we allowed to, as not being the person on the bill, is the tenant allowed to call and ask questions?
Sure.
I know with the gas company and things like that, if you are not the person on the bill, you can't call.
Well, it's regarding billing matter, probably.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to find
Service,
billing,
yes.
right? you wouldn't be able to make a change in the building. But you can certainly restore
Sure.
it.
And if you have water quality issues, absolutely.
Thank you.
Bill Timmons, 230 South Main Street. I don't have an issue at this point, but if there was a crack or a break in the service line into a house, would that generate the muddy condition as that's flowing through the lines?
Possibly just at that house, but not for any other.
Right, well, you'd be localized, if it was on just your service line. And it may not even, anything happen, because if there's enough pressure behind on the water line itself, it should still continue, but it'll won't come in, generally.
And do they listen for leaks along the street to see if they pick up anything?
Yes,
Yeah.
we have data loggers, we have 274 data loggers placed throughout the city in the low pressure zone area. And they take readings there every day. And then he comes in and reads them once a month. And then we can find out, I mean, we found leaks that happened just the night before. And then we go out and fix it, and the leaks been repaired.
Anyone else? Excellent. Gentlemen, I appreciate you coming out this evening. I do know you have to make it over to Cohacon. So with there being nothing else from this panel nor the crowd, I'd like to thank you for coming out today. You do state clearly and for the record for all of our residents that their water is safe, yes?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. Excellent. Hopefully, we don't have to have you here again, but if we do, it'll be on good terms, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much for coming out today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we have Miss Mary Beth Ringo from the Municipal Alliance. There she is. How are you, Ms. Ringo? Doing well, thank you. Floor is yours.
Municipal, I don't know why I'm here.
If you could just explain to, I guess a lot of the council members, especially the new ones, were unsure of what the Municipal Alliance was.
Okay.
Okay.
First of all, we're in grant year 4. We're in this.
It's upside down.
Okay. We're in fourth year of a 5-year grant. We're in the 4th year of a 5-year grant. So all of this information has been passed along to the council. All of the information is in our file in municipal buildings. You have all signed the resolutions, I presume, because this has been going on for 30 years in the town of Phillipsburg. The Municipal Alliance is a program that is funded by the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse. It's programs through a town or through a municipality, funded through monies that are collected by drug and alcohol offenders. So if you go out and get a DWI, the money that you have paid most probably goes through something called DEER funds. And it's all collected through the state of New Jersey, and then they decide where that money will go, county to county. So Phillipsburg has, and I'm not quite sure what your population is, but whatever your population is what the money that you receive. So Cohacon receives a different amount than Phillipsburg receives. Alpha receives a different amount than Mansfield receives. But this is how it goes throughout the state of New Jersey. Everybody has a municipal alliance, and everyone handles their municipal alliance differently, and it's according to a committee. I just coordinate the grant. The grant for the town of Phillipsburg, your total is from the state of New Jersey, I believe your total is $12,440, and from Phillipsburg, they do a cash match. Every municipality cash matches, or you can opt out. Phillipsburg is $3,750, I believe. So, up until this year, the Municipal Alliance in Phillipsburg was coordinated by Dawn Slifer. Is it Slifer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And DJ Capese was the coordinator of the grant. So a lot of the programming took place at the Firth Youth Center, it being the only youth center in Phillipsburg. So some of the programs are in Phillipsburg. The TIPS certification program, does anyone know what that was? Yeah, okay. Okay, so that program is being done a little differently this year. Instead of demanding that the bartenders and the establishments go through the TIPS training, we're doing a video and we're sending that out to everybody. So if they decide to adopt it, that's terrific. If not, that's terrific too, I guess. They have something called Substance Abuse Prevention Education. Up until this year, that's what it was called. And I can just read you, to educate all members of the community on the negative impact alcohol has on the body. The Alliance will utilize various communication strategies, public education, social marketing, media advocacy to influence community norms, increase public awareness, and attract community support. Various locations within the town of Phillipsburg, including the Bird Youth Center and the REACH program at the Phillipsburg Middle School. The other program that they do is Big Brothers Big Sisters. So one of the problems that I'm finding as the coordinator of the grant actually is that because you're in the 5th year of a grant, you don't just go in and wipe the table of what was approved by the county and approved by the state. So if things want to change, we can tweak them a tiny bit, such as maybe not giving $5,000 to Big Brothers Big Sisters, but giving $2,500. But you can't just go in and the committee, it's not done by me, it's done by a committee. They don't just go in and wipe the table clean. So we're going into our last year. So if anyone has some ideas on what they would like to do, perhaps next year, 2019 to 2020 would be the year to make that happen.
Excellent. Who's on this committee? Is it just residents from the town?
Residents from the town, this, again, was well established. The committee membership.
I looked for it, I just couldn't find the members.
Couldn't find it.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, let's see who's on it. The people that I have, the people that I reached out to are the people that have been on the committee. Joanne Flynn from the middle school, some Jan Swick from the high school, Kelly from the Bird Youth Center, the chief of police. Since then, both of you, Danielle and Bobby, excuse me.
It's Mr. Lutz.
Okay.
Councilman Lutz.
And Councilman Lutz. Were you on that? Were you on that?
Last year.
Okay. Anybody who was on the committee would have received that invitation.
But I don't receive any information.
You don't? Okay, well, you will, as, I mean, your name is on here, so okay. You will then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Robert Coyle, he's the chairperson. Pastor Keady, he was somebody from the faith-based community.
Great. I appreciate that. Thank you. How often do you